Tottenham's won the Premier League nearly every year for 50 years. Brest are 4-time Champions League winners. And Zlatan Ibrahimovic's record is still unbroken. Welcome to Football Manager 2024 in the year 2100. Hello and welcome to Azus ROG Global, where we celebrate PC gaming and do silly things like simulate 77 years into the future in Football Manager. Why have we done this? Well, because Sports Interactive just released a new game, because FM is a uniquely brilliant sports management series on both desktop and laptop machines that simulates a whole world of football down to the microscopic details. It runs on basically anything, and if you leave it to simulate the world of soccer for multiple decades without any player input, it comes up with some absolutely wild results. Let's look at them. So, welcome to the year 2100, where thankfully humanity is still a thing and organised sports are still apparently happening. Let's start with the pinnacle of football, the UEFA Champions League. Things begin predictably enough with some Man City dominance, some Bayern titles, Real Madrid getting in on the action, and even a Newcastle title in 2031-32. Then we enter the PSG years. The French team wins it 7 times in 12 years, finishing runner-up on one occasion too. Later on in the century, the usual suspects are back for silverware: Man City, Real Madrid, AC Milan, and just one title for Barcelona in 77 years. Wherever the next Messi was, Barca apparently did not sign him, but we'll get to that. Things start going into sci-fi territory towards the end of the century, where we see Brest pick up 4 Champions League trophies, as in Brest, who finished 14th in Ligue 1 in the 2022-23 season in real life and have never won a domestic title, let alone the Champions League. Look at the other names on here too. Lyon, Saint-Etienne. It's a renaissance of French football. It's definitely not a renaissance for Man United, however, who failed to lift the trophy even once for the remainder of the century. They do finish runners-up twice though, so, consolation. Okay, now we're talking transfers. The big money moves that sent the news media into a frenzy. Their biggest transfer of all time actually involves a real-world player who's currently playing, and you will absolutely never guess who it is. Runner-up is this bit of business between Fulham and FC Bayern in the year 2077 that sent Ramiro Irusta over to Germany for a cool 329 million. And it worked out well for Bayern by the looks of it. 14 seasons, half of them scoring more than 20 goals. Decent bit of business. But even that staggeringly expensive transfer is eclipsed by one move, also involving the crater-deep pockets of FC Bayern. Taking place in 2026, it's the transfer of one Gabriel Martinelli for £336 million. Martinelli's one of the absolute top players in the real game right now, but would you guess he'd become the all-time most expensive player? A record that would stand until the end of the century? Yeah, probably not. And where is Bayern getting all these funds anyway? It's clear that there's been some big swings in power by 2100, so let's take a look at what that's done to Europe's big 3 leagues: the English Premier League, Spain's La Liga, and the Italian Serie A. Here we are in the Prem, and to be honest, there are no major surprise teams here. Everton have been relegated at some point though, which means only Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham and Chelsea have been in the top flight since '92. When we look at the past winners, no major surprises here either. City, Arsenal and Newcastle swapping the trophy around for 20 years, Man United finally getting their hands on it again in 2042-43, and then the rise of Tottenham. And what a rise. Look at that run from 2056-57 to 2067-68. Also shout out to runners-up Brighton here in the 66-67 season. Man City, West Ham and Arsenal finally make the league competitive again, but Tottenham is still the most recent winner. Over in La Liga, the usual 2 teams fight it out. Barcelona with the upper hand for the first 30 years, then after this, Villarreal win in 2049-50. Then, after this Villarreal win in 49-50, it all changes and Real goes on a Real tear for, well, the rest of the century, really. Well done to Villarreal for turning it into a 3-horse race though. And over in Italy, Napoli's time at the top is a short one. Inter, Milan and Juve seize control back until the late 2040s when Lazio enters the chat. Napoli wins a couple in the swinging 60s, and La Viola Fiorentina gets a title in this decade too. But from here on out, it's Juve, Lazio and Milan domination, with just one Inter win to break the routine. Tough century to be a Roma fan. One title in 100 years. None taken, Sports Interactive. Nothing in these leagues though compares to the absolute most dominant league performance. For that, we need to journey back over to France again. Ladies and gentlemen, Ligue 1. Oh my goodness. And that's our time-travelling journey done with. We must return now, traveller, and watch Erling Haaland dominate both the Prem and everyone's fantasy league teams for the foreseeable. Thanks for joining us on that trip, and be sure to leave a like to support the channel, subscribe for more, and we'll see you in another one.